Merry Christmas and happy new moon, solar eclipse, and Capricorn. Stay tuned because I'm going to share with you 4 impactful things that can really help you glow forward on fire in 2020 as you go through this rebirthing of your higher self during this energy timeline. Let's go! Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Harmony. I'm a twin flame ascension expert helping twin flames, starseeds, and lightworkers around the globe to unlock their hidden power and to align with their highest truth. Today I want to talk to you about the new moon and solar eclipse in Capricorn, and it could not fall on a better timeline, as I've been telling you every video that's leading up through this ascension, through the Christmas period, through the out with the old, in with the new, ending a decade, ending all of the things that we're letting go of. The universe has a sense of humor that you can't make this stuff up. So first of all, as I want to just talk about just from the typical aspects of this new moon is that, anytime a new moon is about bringing in the new beginning, and knowing that though we've had to create space for that, which is something we've been doing. And in addition to that, when it comes to a solar eclipse, it basically also helps to release this deepest shadows within you in order to create the space for the new. And doing it in Capricorn says a lot about bringing that into form. It says a lot about getting it done and doing it from a place of go time. Like, we're not going to mess around. We're going to bring this into form and, buckle up, because we're about to birth the baby. Okay. And that's where this kind of connects to the 4 things that I want to share with you that would be really good takeaways for you for this new moon energy. And the first part of that is, or let's just talk about backing up 1 second, the aspect of us moving through the ascension process and leading up to the last 2 videos that I've been leading up to this one. I'll make sure to put links below for those videos, because if you've kind of not listened to those and talking about the different parts of the ascension process, as well as how that the 12/21 portal, and you can even go back to the 12/12 portal really, and then now aligning with this new moon and the solar eclipse just beautifully aligns with everything I've already been setting you up for, because this part of this portal right here on this new moon is about the rebirthing of your higher self, your highest version of yourself. And the reason that is so perfectly aligned is we're dealing with a lot of programs that involve family, friends, relationships. And we're here at the holidays, and here we are visiting all these people and having to put to the test all of what we've learned, or digging up a shadow of something that hasn't come to fruition yet. So in these 4 things, I'm going to jump right in to them. So the first one is that it's about the rebirthing of yourself. And, as I said, that, we're aligning with family and we're letting go. And if you watched my video about the different 4 phases of ascension and breaking that down, and rebirthing is the first phase of the ascension that's the hardest part to get through, then what, is important is that you do go through a process of letting go. And to do the letting go, I've mentioned that there's multiple ways to do that by making sure to let go of old karma, old programs, old soul contracts, we're breaking down the paradigms of relationships and structure and patriarchs, and we're really have broken everything down, and it's like there's been this sense of war that is over, and now we're in this new beginning. And it really comes down to you taking note of what it is that you are taking with you in this new beginning. And so it's going to be super important for you to know what it is you desire going through this new moon, because this is the portal of basically the new of what you want, and that what you want then through the solar eclipse energy mixed with Jupiter also piggybacking this. And I don't know why my light keeps flashing, but it does, and maybe you see it or don't. This happened once before recently. But basically this is going to be magnifying what it is you want. Now, one of the things I keep hearing multiple people from the last couple videos that I've posted, they're worried that they've missed the portals and they didn't do enough work and they're going to get left behind. And they're also worried about leaving their twin flame behind and a lot of different things. So I want you to know that you don't unbirth the baby, and you've come this far, and everyone's going up in ascension, and everyone's going to go through some form of rebirth. Dependent upon your personal soul contract, dependent upon your own soul lessons, and dependent upon your mission and your purpose and the assignment with your twin flame that you have, will be dependent upon the magnitude of karma you're clearing, or templates that you're bringing in, or mission that you have to implement. So this is not cookie cutter as to who's doing what, but what I can tell you is there's nobody being left behind, because this is where there's a predestined, like we predetermined our destiny, so to speak, but there's the free will and how to get there. But in that, we will continue to grow, we will continue to ascend. But by doing these things that I've been talking to you about, or maybe you've been working on, it's going to amplify the work you're doing by 1,000-fold. And there goes the light thing again. So anyway, that basically we're magnify it by 1,000. And that is bringing up what it is we desire. It's basically planting the seeds of the new and what we want to harvest and cultivate over the next 10, 12, 20, 25 years, really. And like, what do we want out of that going forward? So you won't be left behind. You're on board. There are some specific things you need to do in the rebirthing part of yourself, and I've mentioned those as to making sure that and that's another reason why it's so important for this portal and aligning us with family and rewriting the connections of our relationships with our family, because in this lifetime we chose our parents to learn like our primary lessons. And if we've been releasing the karma, if we've been raising our vibration and letting go of all the things that don't serve us, but our vibration is going up, and then we're accelerating our vibration by doing different things like activations and meditations and transmissions and energy upgrades and downloads and expansion and a greater awareness, then, you know, by doing that, then we basically are like doing what it takes, because the awareness is the key here. The minute you get the awareness, that is 75% of the actual work. But, you know, one of the programs I teach, I've talked about, is the Reboot Your Soul, where you are releasing your past, raising your vibration, and really reclaiming who you are, your new identity, the highest version of you at your highest state, of your highest vibration, and reclaiming your life from there. And that's really, like, in a nutshell, that's a small version of a rebirth right there that I'm talking about, and bringing in your ancient wisdom and all of your elements. And I'm seeing this connected to like clients in the last little bit, that we're doing all these soul retrievals and inner child healing and heart retrievals and restoring all of that within ourselves. So as we go through this rebirthing, it helps us identify through this process of who we are. And again, the more you not only know who you are, but know what you desire, will be the culmination of those two, the integration of those two within yourself, to be able to go forward and amplify your work. So know if you feel like you haven't done the work, or you still need to do more. That's maybe true for some people. Everybody's at a different place. But you are where you are, and it's perfectly wherever you are, and you haven't done anything wrong. and you're coming to terms with things can be perfectly imperfect and perfectly imperfect, and that makes it all perfect. And so it's perfect the way it aligns. But you're in this clearing of your soul, collecting of all your pieces and correcting the energy balance. One of the things that we're storing as I move into number 2 is the feminine power, the empowerment and the femininity. And so the number 2 thing that could not be more perfect in this Christmas day, birthing process that Christmas represents, and Christ, that this portal, this falling on Christmas with this new moon solar eclipse energy, is the rebirth of the feminine Christ. So the feminine Christ says we're restoring that feminine energy. And I got to tell you, on 12/21 portal, wee hours of the morning, I did a bunch of downloading. I woke up to downloading light codes, and the Sophia code energy has been coming in for quite a while, and I've been reading it, and then with processing it all and working with clients for the last week or so, and since the portal, I've came to understanding with the connection of this moon and eclipse and Capricorn here, bringing this full circle, is allowing me to see it all come to life of all this feminine energy right here, right now on Christmas, the rebirth of the feminine Christ. And if you don't know what the Sophia's codes are, there's a book on it. However, I have not even read the book. All I know is it's been coming to me, and there's not anything I've actually looked up on it really, and I plan to, now that I've really identified that these codes I downloaded were the Sophia codes. However, what I want you to know what that means is everyone's getting these downloads in these portals, which is upgrading you, which is helping us anchor in this feminine Christ energy. And so these Sophia codes are activating your crystalline light body, that's your diamond light within your template and your grid of your body, that's literally down to the chromosomes and the DNA having went up in like vibration and a crystalline structure, moving from 2-stranded DNA to 12-stranded DNA to support more crystalline light in your body. These Sophia codes, what I'm being shown, nobody's told me this really, like as I said, it's just what I've been being shown, is that these Sophia codes come in through the portal of the 12/21 to mark this rebirth of the feminine Christ and activating our light bodies so that we can embody the sovereignty of the higher self. And that means it's activating us in our feminine qualities. And I got to tell you, since this has happened, like I'd been so much into this feminine empowerment and feminine power, but then, you know, after having this activation, it amplified everywhere and everything within me, and all this vulnerability, emotional expression, sensuality, sexuality, kindness, love, grace, like the goddess energy that we think about. But from me personally, where it's hitting, and this is where this is hitting, like in this deep shadow, it's hitting these emotional components of side of me that was the feminine sides that my whole life through my childhood I suppressed through my father being strong and not allowing me to like express my own voice, because it was his voice that mattered and his voice that was truth. And he's still like that today, and he's made himself very ill from carrying that. And by the way, he's Capricorn. Like there's no freaking, you know, like there's no freaking accidents here. You know, my father's playing a role with this right through this portal with me as well. And but basically I've been being hit from this femininity side of this emotional side of me trying to wake up, that yesterday at afternoon on I've started feeling like Paley about to purge, and every little thing was triggering me in this way that felt like oh my god, like it's aggravating me because I don't want to deal with this, or I don't want to do that, or I need to express this. And at the end of the day, I'm not running, but it's like I felt like I wanted to run, but what I would be running from is the fact that I didn't want to have to express the hurt and wounded side of me. So there's been two sides of these feminine codes coming in. We had the empowerment and the warrior side of us, and now we're getting the feminine soft Sophia side of us, and we're bringing those the feminine imbalance between the feminine like warrior and the feminine goddess coming into this harmony and union at this time. And then that is within us, then like triggering us from a place of what I'm going to talk about. Number 3 is decision making. Is a lot of decision making taking place right now. And there's split decisions. And for me, and this is minute decisions, like these shouldn't even be decisions. And it's coming from this place of a confusion of the programs and trying to implement the positive sides of the programs, or say the sides I used to do versus the polarity and contrast of knowing that I've had to learn the opposite side of the coin, and knowing that any given moment I'm learning both sides of the coin, and it doesn't matter which side I use, it just needs to be used from, like in this yes, no, or right, left, needs to be done from a place of what's serving me peace and power in the moment. But what's happened is, for me personally, is my feminine and masculine have came in, or let's say my warrior that was so strong that it's another layer, my masculine letting go. And I'm seeing that the decisions I need to make is more from my feminine side, but my soft feminine side. And so these decisions and these splits are coming in to say, am I doing this for my masculine or feminine? Am I doing this for my higher self or my lower self? Am I doing this from an old program or a new program? So when things are coming, we got to take action or integrate or process or create the awareness of what's the next step, or how to implement these new things that we've been being shown, which, by the way, I do believe we got to re-implement them because we've been releasing this. And if we don't reprogram ourselves and our actions and our energy as to how we go forward, we can carry those with us. But on the flip side of that, there comes down to how much more do you got to do? What is, like, do you need the lesson? Or is the lesson that you don't even need to do a lesson and you can choose to step out of a situation? So what decision you make needs to be based on, is it operating from your highest good, from the highest self? Is it operating from a new program? And is it operating from right now, your feminine side? Because the feminine side in this new moon is coming up from a place of allowing yourself to express yourself emotionally and being okay with that. Because we haven't always been okay with emotions, that those wounds have come through, and we haven't always allowed them and said it's okay to feel like that. We've tried to suppress a lot of emotions, and these emotions are like Pele coming up and purging. So basically, when you have these decisions, know that it's not a right or wrong decision. I was in yoga today, and I was doing power yoga that I'd never done, doing these moves that I hadn't done, as far as doing a fallen triangle and a backwards downward dog. You know, like, I've done a lot of yoga and I never heard those before or done those before. And I was like, holy cow, it's a good thing I've been leading up to this for at least 6 weeks. And then I saw what was happening, and the inner side of me was just like ready to like come out in that masculine way by the time I got there. And by the time I left, I was literally crying on the mat. And my feminine side kicked in. I've never done something like that. So these emotions were like, it was like that feminine side was hanging on, and it was like I let that go, and I became all them from Warrior 1, 2, 3, all through that. I could feel myself going through, and they had like all these AC/DC songs and things going. So it was like the adrenaline was rushing, and like I felt all of this masculine old ways just melt down, and I melted into my feminine on the mat this morning. So anyway, when you make your decisions, know that you might be making one from masculine or feminine, and you need to do it based on where you're at in the moment. And you could be on two sides of the coin. And what I discovered on my mat, whenever I felt this shift inside of me, it's not about a right or wrong decision. As I told you, at the end of the A game here, when we hit that fork, we get to choose. It's not, it doesn't even matter if it's from the masculine and the feminine, the higher self, the lower self, the old program and the new program. It's about, what do you choose? What do you want? What do you desire? Which is so important to know that going forward. So when you make your choices and hit these split moments, you can choose to go forward from the highest moment of that moment that gives you the peace and power that makes you feel good. So number 4 then is the reprogramming of those childhood wounds. I've been talking about this. And again, it's our inner child that has been wounded through this rebirth that's blocking us. Because if we've done so much past life work or energy work or all these things through this rebirth, to come into the fullest rebirth is really important to literally go through a birthing process of understanding why you chose your mother and your father. So I am going to offer you in my Reprogram Your Childhood Wounds, the first module is to rewrite RAGHT, your birthing process, so you can identify why you chose your parents, why you chose your mother, why you chose your father, what you chose to learn from them, so that you can then realize those are the primary lessons you chose in this lifetime that has to be mastered to complete your soul contract, so you can come on through this rebirth and stepping into all of you. And then that leads into, so that will be free. Like, I'm going to make it free for this timeline here and for a little while. And I don't know how long, at least probably through the end of the year. So get plugged into that and do that. And that will help you dot I's and cross T's in your own rebirth. And then, like, where it comes to the reprogramming the childhood wounds, really what you need to do is make sure to identify what the wounds are and to know what's being triggered. And that's your awareness. That's when you're having them that's going to trigger and kick in. And the second thing then is you need to be able to, like, know that once you've identified them, then you need to know that you need to rewrite them or reprogram your old ways, your old patterns with them, and what needs healed, or how can you handle things going forward in a new way. And that's going to allow you to repattern your relationships with all these people, family, friends, lovers, and, you know, all relationships, so that as you go forward in the new beginning, you have your ability, your tips, your tools, and your techniques inside of you to be able to implement these new patterns of action to create more loving relationships, so you stop basically attracting old, like, partners that are triggering your old wounds through, that are hitting the childhood wounds. And like, that program, I've said this before, and it's so powerful that it actually, like, what I'm going through here and telling you, and how I dotted all my I's and crossed my T's, was like going through another round of that for myself and with my father and my family, and putting that whole program together. Literally, like, did my own place of being here to be rebirthing into the feminine Christ as I'm going across the finish line, knowing I have 2 to 3 things that I need to accomplish in this portal that has to do with reaching out and expressing my emotions from the opposite of having done it where I numbed it, to allow myself to be seen in a very vulnerable state of things that would normally not even bother me or normally not even care. It's just a matter of, I know going forward, I don't want those patterns with those people. So I'm going to make sure that either close them out, rewrite them, collect my energy, and go forward with these people in a way that I've reprogrammed that. And it's all links to my femininity of me being very vulnerable state that I know is my part of going through the portal. And I'm sure a lot of you as well. All right. Merry, 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 Merry Christmas to you. Also on December 25th at 12 a.m. Pacific Standard Time through December 26th at 12 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, my book, Twin Flame Codebreaker, is a gift to you guys, and anyone that hasn't got it for free, that's on the Kindle version of Amazon. So there will be a link, the American or the States Amazon here, and if it would be in whatever country you're in, if you can get connected to Kindle, it would also be available there as well. So you will get that as it's my gift to you for Christmas, as well as my gift to you going through this rebirthing of your highest self, of being able to get that first module of that program downloaded or, you know, locked into, so that you can go through that first module to rebirth yourself. And the code for the discount is heal. Well, I'll link it below. I honestly don't remember. I've gave out a couple different ones. Things have changed. So the code to get the discount for $37 for that Reprogram Your Childhood Wounds online course will be below as well. Thank you so much for being here, for being on my journey, for giving me a reason to show up. With the holidays, I won't be back probably till normal time, and next week around on my normal Thursday, I'm gonna take some time off and go out of town, visit family, get ready to do all that. But I want to send you so much love, light. May you always face your fears, find freedom, and make sure you like, comment, share the shine, and let me know where you're at during this new moon energy and what you desire going forward. Okay? Much love. Many blessings. Namaste.